Hi everybody, I am Husky Light. I hope you're all really well. I wanted to do just a quick twin flame update, twin flame video. I've not put one out for a while. I went into separation back, it was June the 19th this year, and the energies since then and around this 11/11 portal, which we just had a couple of days ago, have been absolutely crazy. There's been all sorts going on, and I've been through synchronicities going off everywhere. I just wanted to share what I've been through the past few weeks, which will probably explain why I've just put the other video out as well, saying that I'm going to go a little bit quiet for a couple of weeks while I just try and absorb and get my head around everything that's been going on. I had a dream about my twin flame, about a month ago, and we were stood in a building that was crumbling around us. It was falling down around us, and when I looked out of the window of this building, everywhere I could see was just falling apart, and we were holding hands or trying to reach out to each other's hands, and he was telling me it was okay, just let the world fall apart around me. It was an incredibly strange dream, which I wasn't too happy about when I woke up. Anyway, I woke up and my son was going to the dentist that morning, and I took my son to the dentist, and as I walked into the dentist, Starship was on the radio. Nothing's going to stop us now, and part of the words to the Starship song is just let the world around us fall apart. We can make it if we're heart to heart. And I just burst into tears. It was absolutely, it was so profound that I just had that dream with those words spoken, and then to go into the dentist and have those words sung to me. And I came out of there in tears, calmed down, went into another shop while my son was in the dentist, and mine and my twin flame song was playing in there. So it just got to the point where I said, I'm going home, I can't do this, I need a break. And it was really strange. Now, a lot of twin flames, you can be in separation and you're not in touch at all. I still, because I'm on YouTube, because he knows we're twin flames, because even though he doesn't admit to it, I will occasionally send him out information by email, or I will drop him a quick email and just say have a nice day or something like that. I never expect an answer from him. I never expect him to come back and say anything, because we're in separation, that's it. At the moment, he's got his things to do, he's got his lessons to learn, he's got his stuff to learn and go through, and I've got to do the same as well. So I never expect an answer. Anyway, excuse me, I am very run down at the moment. I did a Skype session, well, it was nearly a Skype session with somebody for a healing and clearing for twin flames, and we were talking away. And first of all, we got on Skype, and there was this horrendous scratching noise. It sounded like somebody was scratching the microphones at both ends, and we couldn't hear each other. So I ended up giving her my mobile number in the end so that we could speak, and it even did it for a moment, a couple of moments on the phone as well, the same scratching noise. It was very strange. But anyway, we were talking, and she's in the same boat as me, and we're in separation, and I'm sure she won't mind me mentioning it because I'm not mentioning her name. And her twin flame turned up about 3-4 weeks ago, out of the blue. Spent a little bit of time with her and disappeared again. And we were discussing the fact that twin flames seem to turn up or come back to you or get in contact when you're not actually thinking about them, when you are not in that stage of missing them, wanting to be with them, thinking about them 24/7, because I know that a lot that it's so hard not to, but eventually especially when you're in separation. Eventually, after a period of time, it does, I promise you, it does get easier. And you stop thinking about them as much. You still see the numbers, you still get all the synchronicities, as I've just explained with mine. I can go days without seeing anything in particular, and then I'll just have a massive load of synchronicities and a whole sequence of numbers popping off everywhere at me, and or the ringing in my ears, the tone in my ear, or something like that. So yeah, we were discussing all of that, and I can't remember where I was up to now. We were discussing all of that, and this was early evening yesterday, and yeah, we were just discussing the fact that if we're not caring, but if we're not thinking about them, if we are, you know, positively trying to go forward with our life, sort other stuff out, do what we were supposed to be doing, they seem to pop up. Now, as she's saying this to me, I completely agreed with her on that point, but at the same time I'm thinking to myself, well, I've done exactly the same with mine, but he hasn't come back yet. I don't know what this is, because he hasn't at this point. So I finished speaking to her, and I sent him an email. I just sent him an email along the lines of, have a nice evening, you know, I miss holding you, and which is, I've sent him things like that before. There's never a reply, there's never anything, and I'm completely used to not having one, because that's the way it is. I reach out very occasionally to him just to let him know that I'm still around, that I'm still here if he needs me, or when it's time for him to come back, or whatever. So I sent him that email, and then I settled down to go to bed, and I had YouTube on. I'd come out of my email section on my iPad, gone into my YouTube, and I was listening to a radio show on YouTube as I was falling asleep. Now, I was almost at the point of falling asleep last night when the radio show that I was listening to, the host of the radio show suddenly got a text message during a live show, and he said somebody's just messaged me. As soon as he said that, bearing in mind I'm almost asleep, something screamed in my head, check your emails. And I was like, no, he's not going to answer, I'm going to sleep, check your emails. So I sort of shot upright in bed, went through to my emails, and about half an hour before, he'd actually emailed me back and said, you know, can you come over? So, okay. Okay, so I did. What I'm trying to get through to you here is keep an eye on the synchronicities and follow your intuition, because it's really there. The help from your guides and angels is completely there. It renews your faith in them, and it's just having that inner knowing that things will change if you're in separation, that eventually something will come through, something will happen. This was such divine timing, it was crazy. The fact that I'd been literally told to go and look at my emails, but even though I was nearly asleep, the fact that this was on the 12th, it was the day after the 1111 portal. As we know, the 1111 twin flame portal, where the energies are so strong, and it causes shifts in our perception, in other people's perception. It brings in energy waves to us, and we don't always know how it's affecting us or how those changes will come about, but usually when we go through such an important portal, it will shift something, and something will happen, something will shift or change, and it seemed to. Now, let's not get really excited. I saw my twin flame last night, and that, you know, after months and months of silence, and everything was like we'd never been apart, and this morning, and I haven't heard from him today, and I probably won't, and I don't actually expect to either. I don't expect to hear from him, because I was divinely timed to spend time with him, to renew my faith in the twin flame journey, to help me to reconnect with him, and to help reconnect the Christ consciousness, uplift me, and help me to see what was going on synchronistically as well. You know, and when I stood in his house, I could see a lot of things around that hadn't changed. Nothing had changed actually within his home. A birthday card that I'd sent to him was sat on the mantelpiece with his other birthday cards, so he wasn't hiding it. He wasn't. It was all very surreal, very, very surreal. But it just goes to prove that when you're not with them, your imagination can run away with you. Oh my God, what they're doing and what's happening, and they're not speaking to me, and they don't love me anymore, and things like that. That's just not the case. That's not the case at all. They have things going on in their own lives. There is a reason for us when we are in separation for that to happen, because we have to do our own spiritual growth. We have to deal with our own stuff. We have to learn from that. We have to break codependency. We have to do... There's all sorts of reasons why it will happen, but it's just part of the journey. It's always just part of the journey. Now, again, I don't expect to see him, but there again, I was not expecting last night to happen. I was not expecting to see him, hear from him, or anything. I'd gotten to that point where I'm not really thinking about him anymore. So on one hand, it doesn't actually seem very fair that just when you've got to that point and you're moving forward and everything, they could pop in again. But that seems the most likely time, is when you're not missing them, when there isn't so many emotions involved in it. So I wanted to pass that along to you. I just wanted to give you a little bit of hope, or a little bit of faith, that if you're not hearing anything, if you're not seeing anything, that does not mean that there's nothing going on behind the scenes. That does not mean that your guides and angels are not working on it really hard. There are reasons for it. There are reasons. And just for last night, our vibrations we were on the same vibration. Things worked out, and it may develop from there, or it may not. But I'm in a position where if it's not, I am totally in acceptance of that, without it upsetting me. So I wanted to pass that along. I wanted to give you a little bit of an update, because you've not heard anything since I did go into separation with him months ago. So crazy things can happen. Crazy things can happen without you even, that come out of the blue, and it's divinely timed. It's part of the journey. So I'm going to leave you with that. Leave me any comments. I will answer comments. I will check in on everything. Namaste.